Welcome to today's Explainer. We're focusing on a really fascinating approach to a super common goal, weight management, but we're looking at it through the lens of a highly specific daily routine. Okay, let's just dive right in. What we're talking about today isn't some massive, exhausting overhaul of your entire life. Instead, it's a very targeted, step-by-step process that literally just relies on everyday items. But, as you'll see, the real secret to this routine isn't just in what you use, but exactly how and when you use it.
So, can two simple ingredients actually manage weight? I know, it almost sounds way too good to be true, right? I mean, we're so used to these incredibly complex regimens, super long lists of obscure superfoods, and just overwhelmingly complicated instructions. But the source material we're unpacking today makes a really bold promise. It strips away all of that noise and focuses our attention on just two basic things you probably already have sitting right there in your kitchen. It really challenges the whole idea that weight management has to be a complicated headache.
Our source material actually breaks this down into a really succinct four-step morning routine. We're talking everything from the initial ingredients to the precise preparation, the exact timing of when you eat it, and finally this absolutely crucial waiting period. Instead of just kind of glossing over the concept, we're going to break down every single one of these steps into a deliberate, easy-to-remember lesson. By the end of this explainer, you'll understand the exact structure and honestly the daily discipline required to make this routine work.
The simple hack, prepping your ingredients. Now, the real magic of this routine lies in how it pairs absolute simplicity with a demand for pretty strict precision. You aren't exactly cooking a 5-course gourmet meal here, but you also can't just throw things together haphazardly and hope for the best.
150. The absolutely crucial point here is this exact measurement. Step 1 of our source explicitly calls for 150 grams of fresh carrot and 150 grams of fresh apple. Notice it doesn't say grab one large apple or throw in a handful of carrots. No, it gives us a precise weight. This tells us that the exact balance of these two fresh ingredients is fundamental to making the whole hack work. You need equal amounts of both weighed out to exactly 150 grams to set the proper foundation.
All right, so once you've got your perfectly equal amounts, you don't just chop them up or, eat them whole like a quick snack. Step 2 requires you to grate both items into really fine shreds and combine them extremely well. The actual physical action of grating, along with that thorough mixing, ensures that the carrot and apple are completely and seamlessly integrated before you take a single bite. It's really about the chemical breakdown and preparation, essentially setting up your body to process them perfectly together.
Timing your intake. Okay, so we've mastered the ingredients and the prep, but honestly, having the right mixture is only half the battle here. Timing is quite literally just as critical as the ingredients themselves. You could have the most perfectly graded, exactly measured mixture on the planet, but if you eat it at the wrong time of day, you aren't actually following the protocol.
Which brings us right to step 3. And I really want to emphasize the absolute necessity of this instruction. Eat daily on an empty stomach. So no, this isn't a mid-afternoon pick-me-up or a healthy dessert. The source explicitly states you must consume this mixture every single morning before absolutely any other food. It has to be the very first thing that touches your stomach each day. Consistency is the anchor here. The word daily is front and center. Every single morning, empty stomach, zero exceptions.
The catch? The waiting period. Because let's be real, every simple hack usually comes with a strict rule. You didn't think it was going to be completely effortless, did you? So you've woken up, you've weighed your ingredients, grated them finely, mixed them up thoroughly, and eaten them on an empty stomach. You've done everything perfectly so far. But this final step, it introduces a strict waiting period that is really going to test your discipline.
2 to 3 hours. Just let that sink in for a second. Step 4 mandates that you must wait a full 2 to 3 hours after eating the mixture. The hack isn't just finished the second you swallow the last bite. In fact, the routine is really just entering its active phase for your body. For 2 to 3 straight hours, the process requires you to completely abstain from anything else. Let's actually put this into perspective by comparing the two halves of this morning routine. On one side, you've got this great proactive action. You actively prepare and consume the mixture every morning before any other food. It feels super productive. But on the flip side, juxtaposed right against that action is a massive restriction. You must not consume any food or drinks for at least 2 to 3 hours. Think about your current morning routine for a second. Could you honestly go up to 3 full hours after waking up without your morning coffee, your tea, or even just a piece of toast? The rules here are incredibly clear. No food, no drinks whatsoever.
So let's lock in this sequence with a quick, rapid-fire summary to make sure we've got it. Step 1.
Prep exactly 150 grams of fresh carrot and apple. Step 2, grate them into fine shreds and mix thoroughly. Step 3, eat it daily, first thing, on an absolutely empty stomach. And Step 4, wait 2 to 3 hours without any other food or drinks. It is a precise, totally unbending 4-step formula.
Which leaves us with this final, pretty provocative thought. The ingredients? Super simple. The preparation? Totally straightforward. But the execution? Man, that requires some serious willpower. So do you actually have the discipline to conquer that 2 to 3 hour waiting period? Can you stick to the strict rules of this simple weight management hack? It's a really fascinating look at how sometimes the simplest ingredients demand the absolute highest level of psychological commitment. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. I really hope this breakdown was as interesting for you.